Продовжуємо наші співбесіди. Наступний кандидат.
So we are continuing our interviews, and the next candidate is Сергій Степанян.
Доброго дня, пане Сергію. Ви можете бачити всі 6 членів комісії, 3 з нас онлайн.
Сергій, good afternoon. You can see that there are 3 members of commission here in the room, and 3 are online. Also, if you need, please use headphones for simultaneous interpretation. And now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Andrei Kozlov, who will be the main interviewer. And please be brief when answering the question, 3-4 minutes. Good afternoon. So, because you take part in this competition, the Commission has a number of questions, and we would like to ask you to answer them to ensure transparency of the process and to understand your personality in terms of corresponding to the integrity criteria. But first of all, I would like to thank you for your service. Thank you, and I'm ready to answer the questions. Let us start with the property questions from the SUME period. Can I use my notes? Yes, of course you should, because you cannot keep everything in your mind. So in 1994, you acquired the right to use an apartment in SUME. And for what I understand, this is the apartment which was privatized. Is that correct? Yes, but the situation is different, actually. I did not acquire the right of ownership. The right to use. No, I did not acquire the right to use the apartment in 1994. It is my wife's apartment. I can explain. Please do. So, what is the situation here? I was looking through the questions to other candidates and to me by Transparency International, so I understand what is meant with this. There is an apartment in Sumy which my wife received in 1994 when it was privatized. So the date is stated when the ownership passed to her. So yeah, I did not live in Sumy. I did not know my wife. In 1994, I lived in Kharkiv. As for the note in declaration, why the year 1994 is there? Because there are explanations of an ACP based on the legislation concerning filling in declarations. It is this is explanation number 60, and it tells that when stating the right of ownership or the right of use, the priority should belong to the right of ownership. So this is what I did. I stated the date when she acquired the right of ownership in 1994. Of course, my right to use this apartment was acquired much later, in 2001 or 2002, probably in 2001. Okay. Also, you stated the value 122,000. So how did you identify this value? Because it was privatized and the value is in the in currency karbovancy. I did not identify the value of this apartment up to 2021. I did not state any value for this apartment. In 2021, I took an extract, and I saw that the value was stated as 122,607 hryvnias, and I was asking my wife, like, where does this value come from? And she told me that she did not know. So I am ready now to give our inquiry and the response that we got. So I'm ready to give to the commission, to the secretariat, please. Okay. So that is our inquiry and the response that we get. There is this system of information registered. So we asked where did this amount come from, and the response was given, based on which I realized that I need to go somewhere and ask someone. So my wife went to the registrar, to the notary, actually, the notary who worked with some inherited property, but they said that they do not know. Also, she went to the state service responsible for the real estate, but we realized that it is a long way to find out how in the register this amount was stated. So I decided to act in line with the current legislation and explanations given by the National Agency on Corruption Prevention, and I put this value from the register. That is where I took it from. To be honest, I do not know why this sum is here, but explanations were, if I find some certain value in the register, I should put it in the declaration. This is what I did, but I tried to actually show my integrity and be transparent. So you can see that this is an abstract from the register, and that's the story. Maybe we can make some steps to find out where this value came from. Maybe the notary, when there was some inheritance cases and things done, put this value. I don't know. Okay, I see. And there is a similar question about the house in Sumy. So the total area is almost 163 square meters, and the value is stated as 559,000 hryvnias. So is it the same situation, whether the date of acquiring the rights and whether the value? Well, with the dates, the situation is a bit different. Because with the declarations, there are so many positions, there are so many explanations that and there is a need to simplify this process, really, because people get confused. I'm joking, of course, but yet I started living in this house in 2016, approximately. So it was 2016. And I stated the dates 2010 and 2012. So 2010 for the house and for 2010 for the land plot, when my mother acquired the ownership of this property. So what is the situation here? If for the apartment, I think that I acted correctly in line with the current laws 100%. And as for the family members, explanations from NASCP say that when third persons acquire the right to use the property, the priority should be with the right to use the property. So I want to receive some more consultations, and it is great that I can make changes in my declarations for 2021 and 2022. So I need to understand and make a decision how to do it right. Probably I will make changes in the declarations based on Article 45 of the law on corruption prevention, but I'm not sure how to do it right. But in response to your question, so that was the right when my family member acquired the right. So if I had a grandmother, if I had a grandma and she's a family member, and if she acquired the right of ownership in 1937, 40 years before I was born, I would have to state the year 1937. But maybe for the house, I should have stated 2016. I will think about it, and maybe I will make this change in the declaration. How did your mother acquire this house? Was it sale? Was it the property she inherited? Was it something that was constructed by your family? It is a sale, and the amount of sale is stated in the declaration. I provided the sale agreement to the commission. Okay, then we have a question that you could have predicted. And if I told that this property was inherited, then you would not have asked this question. Well, we would have asked you to provide the documents for the inherited property. We have questions for any type of answer. Some are universal, but some especially for you. So, for example, the income of your mother, as we can see from the State Register of Individual Taxpayers. So your mother's income is 177,000 hryvnias before taxes. But the price of the house is bigger, and there is quite a big gap there, quite a big difference. So how can you explain this difference? Because she also needed to spend some money just to cover her costs. And what is the time period from 1998 to? Okay, from 1998. So I provided the documents to the commission saying that my mother was engaged in entrepreneurial activities since 1992. And I showed that it's not just some like fake company. It is a rather famous enterprise. It performed activities. There is a website. And in 1998, my mother was 45 years old, as I am now. So I am trying to become the head of NACP, and she also had a career. So if the commission considers that no income received before the person is 45 years of age should not be considered, then we should say that I did not have an income by now. So my mother, she had business before. She built a medical center and a house, and I never had any doubts that she was making money. So our country, I do not know why there was no proper registration of the income of entrepreneurs up to 1998. I do not have a time machine to go back there and find out exactly. Well, let us just think together. Let's do that. So if you say that this money was earned before 1998, we can say that some cooperatives and some entrepreneurship started in our country in 1998, 1999, something like that. So if we see the difference here, which is more than 300,000, and if we look at the exchange rate, we should understand that we are talking about an amount of approximately $100,000. Maybe this approach is not correct. Why I'm saying that? We're not saying that we are canceling all the income before 1998, but we need some confirmation of this income. Maybe there are some bank statements. Maybe you have some documents which are left. I don't know, some checks, receipts, anything. We would like to see some confirmation that the funds existed and something happened with these funds. Look, I'm trying to be honest with the Commission. So we are talking about some events 28 years ago. There are no documents. If I wanted to confuse the Commission to lie, I would have found some private entrepreneur who worked back then, and my mother could take a receipt, a statement from this person that this person gave my mother a certain amount of money, and this businessman would have confirmed that he gave to my mother like 1 million hryvnias in 1998. Just as a confirmation, but I don't want to lie. I want to say the truth, to give the facts that I know. No, we are not saying that you are lying, but your perception of what you heard may be different from what the person actually said. You know, they say that people, when they observe something, they not always say what actually happened, but what, like how they interpreted it. You know, it happened 28 years ago. Even if I wanted to do something, my mother, she went to Germany when there was this shelling in Kharkiv. She went to Germany, and there was a missile which hit a building 100 meters from her house. So she went for the winter time to Germany. So her business is not operating now. So I want to explain that since 1992, she built a medical center. She confirmed that she had certain income. She bought this house. What can I do with that? I do not have another response for you. At the same time, in the same year, 1998, she founded the private company MIC. So do you know about the amount of the authorized capital? Well, it was founded by my wife, my wife, not my mother. Yes, that's correct. So in 1998, I was a 5-year student. I lived in Kharkiv. My future wife, she was working in Sumy, and she founded the SMIC private company. And there were 4 years before we met. So if registration of this SMIC private company in 1998, if it has any influence on my integrity, I can answer your question. I think that if she founded and registered this company in 1998, it would make sense to say that the money which was put as authorized capital was taken from the income received before 1998. But I would like to add something, if I may. Let us be honest and let us talk about these years, like 1998. You know, this authorized capital, it was put to do the business. It does not mean that the money was just there. She invested this money, and she was running the business. And maybe there will be some other questions, like why did she sell this company? Not sell, but like suspended its activities. Because this private company, it meant certain expenses. But about this authorized capital, of course, it was not there 20 years after that. That's business, you know.
What about the responsibility of Unitur? It was later than in 1998. But there were other approaches and there are questions where she has received 150,000 hryvnias, which is half of the authorized capital. Unitour was created in 2002, 22 years ago. I understand that for this competition, it's not a long period of time, but as far as I see it, it was quite a long time. I asked my wife where she received that money. She said that it was her income. She explained that she acquired that money. She invested that money into the business, either into the repairment works or something else, but this is not the money that she could use. It was 22 years ago. There are no documents to prove it. We need to accept it that starting from 1992 until some period of time, this was the time when the capitals were formed. I told you the story how I met my wife in 2002. She had a mill. This mill was burnt. Some arsonist burnt this mill. She said that it gave me some income and someone burnt it. I told her that, Ira, you need to finish that kind of business. After that, she started some more calm business, like the tourist business. Before that time, she has founded another enterprise, which was working with fuel, with gas filling station, and she was working with the oils. I looked into her income at that time, at 2000, and I didn't see her income there because the founders of that enterprise didn't reflect this information within the tax offices. What can we do with it now in 2024? It was 20 years ago. Besides, I'd like to add that this definitely doesn't influence my integrity. Neither in 1998 nor in 2002 I could provide 250,000 hryvnias to my wife because I was first an intern at the prosecutor's office in Sumy, and then I was a prosecutor. We need to... How did you meet your wife? I moved to Sumy, and that's how I met her. It's a nice city where I've met her. Yes, it's a beautiful city indeed. All right. We spoke about old times, what happened during Kuchma's presidency. Let's speak about some fresh things. You have a son. On November 30, 2023, the police stopped him for exceeding the speed limit on the car Lexus NX, and the commission has a question, therefore. Who owns this car? What were the grounds for your son to use it, and since when? Answering your question, I would say that when you don't have problems, your family helps you. I will tell you about this Lexus. I have learned about this Lexus in November when my son called me and told me, Dad, what should I do with the fine on the car? I was stopped and he told me this story. He said, I was driving this Lexus and I asked him, which Lexus? He said, we took a Lexus. I am based in Kyiv, he says, and he was in Sumy. When I heard about this story, I was really surprised, and I told that the only thing that I'm asking, I would provide the commission a certificate, some certificates, and I would ask you not to announce the surname of the owner of this Lexus, because it's a stranger, he doesn't belong to this story at all. So the story was the following. Our family has a friend. He's not my friend, I just know him, but he's a friend of my wife's. She knows him since 2002 or 2001, I don't remember. She communicates with him a lot, and this can be proven. He is the owner of this Lexus. He has bought it either in 2020 or 2019. And then the story follows. I could stop here, but we all want to hear the truth, so I will tell you the truth. The truth is as following. This man, as far as I understand, he's a rich person. I will probably ask my wife to take his declaration, to ask for his declaration. He probably has enough money to buy several Lexus. He lives in Kharkiv. In Kharkiv, there was a shelling near his garage, and he told her, I want to give this car to you for you to keep it for around 2 months, and I will take it back. Because in Kharkiv, there are constant shellings there, but Sumy is a bit more safe. My wife said, yes, of course, we will keep this car. We will gladly keep this beautiful car. They took this car and started keeping it. My son, who knows this man, who knows the son of this man, he called him several times and asked him to allow to drive this car. He was driving it around. He received this fine for exceeding the speed limit, and he also damaged it a bit when he was driving. When he received this fine, he also damaged it a bit. So one day, when he drove this Lexus, he received a fine and also damaged the bumper of this car. So that's what happened. They told me this story. I told them, my dear friends, the thing is that it seems that this Lexus is mine, but I don't even know about it. Let me at least ride it, or let me see it. But it's just a joke. There was another situation. If they were keeping this Lexus, then probably we had to register this somehow. I told them to give it back to the owner, that we didn't want to keep it, and we returned it. They returned it in December 2023. For this commission, I will ask for the declaration of this person, and I will ask for his right of ownership for this car, the copy of this document, and I will send it to you tomorrow. I can provide nothing else in this regard. Thank you very much. And there is one last question. In June last year, you have left Ukraine. Can I tell the name of the country? Could you please not tell the name of the country, but I will answer your question. I'm a military person. I'm the head of the detachment at the Ministry of Defense, Ukraine. For me to leave Ukraine, there is a number of regulations, both as I'm a citizen of Ukraine and I'm a member of the ministry, a representative of the ministry. For me to leave the country, I need to receive, I need to be allowed by my superiors. I left Ukraine for some training, military training. That's it. If you have other questions. Dear colleagues, do you have any other questions to the candidate? No questions. Sergey, thank you very much for the clarifications, for being sincere with us. Could you please provide those documents to the Secretariat? If it's okay, I can do this tomorrow. You have 2 or 3 days for this. Thank you very much. You may be free. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Goodbye. We are inviting the next candidate, Andriy Teteruk.